So the next one is step number 6, where we are moving to choose the question wording. Step number 5, yes, step number 5 we forgot. Step number 5 is decide the question structure. Decide the question structure, whether the question will be unstructured or structured, open-ended or closed-ended. As I said, in questionnaire, mostly you have closed-ended, structured questions, but you can also have open-ended questions. So that is deciding the question structure. So that is the 5th step. We will directly then go to the 6th step of the questionnaire design. 6th one is choose the question wording. What is the problem with the first one? Which brand of shampoo do you use?
Which do you use most of?
Yeah, very good. So one is when or for what? Or where? Which brand of shampoo do you as she said, how many times do you personally go out to buy groceries? Personally is also written, then, oh, my family was. How many times? So one is which brand of shampoo do you use? Somebody may say, oh, we use, so in India, we are, more collectivist society. If it is written, do you personally use also, then people read, oh, we at our home and so on. So which brand of shampoo do you personally use? So this question, which brand of shampoo do you use? This is very inappropriate and not specific, because the question wording is not appropriate. One may be using multiple brands. What about that? Whether it is most often or once. Where? Which brand of shampoo do you use? Somebody could use in salon. This is the correct answer. Which brand of shampoo do you use? This is incorrect. Correct is which brand or brands. You can use multiple brands of shampoo have you personally used? At home, not at salon. Where? When? During the last month. In case of more than one brand, please list all the brands that apply. What was the problem in which brands of shampoo do you use? One is who. If you don't write personally, then people will write about we, and that we could be people who are living together, whether friends, family. What brand or brands? When? Last month, today, last week? Where? At home? At salon? It is written gym also. So you have to be specific. So the idea is new journalists are told to define the issue in terms of who, what, when, where, and then frame the question very specifically like this, where who, what, when, where is very clearly mentioned in this question. Which brand or brands of shampoo have you personally used at home during the last month? That is how difficult it is to write the correct question. Okay, the next one is carefully choosing the words. Do you think the distribution of soft drink is adequate? What is the problem? Adequate? The words adequate is also, ambiguous. Distribution is also ambiguous. So use the words that are commonly understood, simple for customers to understand. The next one is, in a typical month, how often you shop in an online grocery store? What is the problem? Never, occasionally, sometimes, often, regularly.
The meaning of those words could be different from person to person.
No, in a typical month, how often do you shop in an online grocery store? And answer options are given. Never, occasionally, sometimes, often, regularly.
How many times is occasionally? How many times is regular?
How many times is occasionally? So I'll give you one answer here, which will be very useful when you will be looking for, when or your parents, or you will be looking for, a possible bride or a groom for the specific for you. So in the matrimonial websites, this question is there: occasional drinker. Now, occasional drinker, what should we understand? So occasional for the person who is writing is Once in 3 days. Or once in a week is occasional. For you, occasional, you might interpret occasional, occasional means 6 months once in a party. So don't get under this occasional, sometimes. You do not know actually what is the number of times. So that is ambiguous. So when somebody is writing occasional drinker, ask what is the occasion? How many times do you have occasions? Because occasional to me and to you could be different. Sometimes to me and sometimes to you could be different. So even for the male in this class who are going to write it, write in the occasionally and write answer also. Complete it, or not only occasionally, because it could be if somebody who has done marketing course, they would doubt occasionally. Oh, occasionally means it could be anything. Better is to be specific. But if you do, if it is on the heavier side, the better to then leave it as occasionally only. Not better to leave it, write the truth, whatever it is there. But again, the idea is to say that all this is ambiguous. The next one is leading questions. As somebody said, leading question is the questions are the ones that lead you to answer in a particular way. That give you a hint about the answer also. Like this, do you think that patriotic Indian should favor driverless cars when that would put Indian drivers out of work? That is directly telling you what answer to give. So this is called leading question. The answer is hinted in the question itself. How should you write it then? Do you think that Indians should favor driverless cars? So leading questions is another. One is define the issue, carefully choose the word. Leading question, next one is implicit alternative. Let us look at that. The question is written, do you like to fly when traveling short distances? What is the problem?
What to do if I don't fly?
Sorry?
What I will do if I don't fly?
Right, that is correct. Do you like to fly when traveling short distances? If you ask this particular question, you are correct. You know, let's say if you on a course of 100 days, you invite every day one of your friends and ask every day to them, would you like to have dosa? Question mark. First 100 days you ask this question. Next 100 days you ask, would you like to have dosa, or rather you would like to have something else. So the answer would be different. The ratio of answers would be different, because if not yes, if not dosa, then what else? Better to make that option not implicit, better to make it explicit, so that people know what are the choices. Don't ask them only about one thing, because then they would know that they would be biased to provide the particular answer. That is implicit alternative. There is something called implicit assumption also. For example, during COVID, we asked this question, are you in favor of starting physical classes from the next week? During COVID. Or do you think, or let me ask a different question for the implicit, for bringing up the issue for the implicit assumption. Do you think government should plant more and more trees in the cities? Are you in favor that government should plant more and more trees in the cities? Most will say yes, right? But then also the other way, right way of asking is, are you in favor of government planting more and more trees in cities? As a result of which, or which would be made possible if in every product you purchase there is green tax, because the money will come from there. Otherwise, how will government will take money from somewhere, do something, right? Are you in favor of government planting more trees if that would mean that you will have to pay a very certain tax, green tax, on the products you purchase? So make the implicit assumption explicit. What would make it possible? So that is not there. So when you are asking, are you in favor of something? We are in favor of many things, but you would have to give up something. You are not asking that. Doing that will be possible only if you are willing to pay. So that is not there. But if you ask the complete questions, the answer will be different. So that is the idea behind implicit assumption. If there is an assumption in a question, make it explicit.
Sir, in the previous revised question, can we also say that it's a leading question?
Yes, kind of, yes. But we wanted to bring a different issue. Yes, it is a sort of leading question. The next one is, how important do you think it is for a Nilgiri store to have a well-lighted parking lots? Let's say how important it is for the Department of Management Studies to have the well-lighted parking lots. What would you say? All of you. How many of you actually park there in the night? Sometimes. See, what would happen if you are asking a question generally, that what is happening here is you are asking it in a way that people are answering for others, not for them. How important is for the Department of Management Studies to have a well-lighted car parking lot? Let's say car parking lot. Then also people will say yes, very, very important. They are answering for others. Do not ask the question that people answer for others. Ask the question that people answer for themselves. Don't ask like this. Right? That is another problem. That ask the question in a way that people do not give answer for others. They give answer for themselves. Or sometimes when you ask how important it is for you to buy fresh vegetables, it is very, very important. Now, because we know that buying fresh vegetable is logical, is what makes me start. It is what makes me smart, looks smart. So you are asking a question about a normative thing, which means what should be done. Don't ask question about what should be done, but what is done. When you ask something that, do you buy vegetables do you buy a vegetable, how much you think that the vegetables should be, or vegetables be bought fresh? People would say yes, it should be bought fresh. But we are not looking at should normative thing, but we are looking for whether you buy vegetables, what is your behavior rather than what should be done or what people should do. Don't ask questions about what people should do. Ask questions about what is done. Next one, do you recall any advertisement for DOMS IIT Madras EMBA program in the last week, such as the inserts that are sometimes placed in your newspaper? What is the problem here? Sorry? Let's say that assumption they are asking about. Yeah. So yes, one assumption is let's say we are making an here we can't make that assumption as well, but let's say we are asking, do you recall any advertisement for DOMS IIT in the last week, such as inserts? This assumption is not made here. This is asked to the target audience, that do you recall any advertisement for DOMS MBA Executive MBA program in the last week, such as this. So problem is here that when we give a hint about such as this, their attention would go whether they have seen anything in the newspapers, but not at any other place. So you are leading them to a particular source, but the question was, you wanted them to answer anywhere you have seen the advertisement, digital. Here you are making them to only focus towards newspapers. That is the problem thing. So these were the major things about writing the questionnaire. There are other issues also. So we have done the steps number 6. Let's go back. Step number, determine the question wording is complete. Then the next one is arrange the questions in proper order, which means what kind of question should be asked first, what kind of question should be asked second and last. Questions like name, phone number, email, one is you can make it optional, but where they should be, first, middle, last. Questions such as that, where you personally ask people to identify themselves, should be asked last in the survey. They should be last, because people want to keep their information private. Nowadays there are so many scams. Generally it is observed that the personal identification questions you should keep last. Otherwise people will say, why do you want my name, phone number? Although we share it, even when we go to Phoenix Mall, they ask about the phone number sometimes. Whichever shop we go, they ask, what is your phone number? As if the bill should have phone number. Why my phone number is required? Actually, phone number should not be asked, but we give it because it's okay. It is there at 100 places. Let it be there in 101. We are not very actually careful about sharing our information, but we should be. Again, we should be is not what we do really. So the idea is the identification question should be kept last in the survey, because people generally do not like to personally identify themselves, what is their name. Identification questions last. Classification questions, which like let's say the classification questions which are regarding your geography, where you live, or whether you are, let's say, socio-economic status, middle class, upper class, and so on. These kind of questions should come second last. The first order should be about the issue you are investigating. The questions, major questions regarding your hypothesis should be there first, classification and identification. And what should be the top questions, beginning questions in the survey? First of all, this survey should have a cover letter saying that, giving the name of your organization, why you are doing this survey, and consent that somebody is voluntarily filling your survey, and a statement of confidentiality that everything will be kept confidential and anonymous. So all these should be there first. Then you should begin with questions that matter to your research problem, and begin with simple questions. Sometimes you will use questions to develop a rapport with the respondent. Those that are not required in the research topic, but that would just set the tone, right tone, make people comfortable. 1 or 2 questions. Then the 8th one is identify the form or and layout. So it's already 2:50. You would have the other class. So we'll continue in the next session.